Hello everyone, I'm the EFC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys the match review for our 1-1 draw with Atletico Madrid last night. And just quick apologies for why I wasn't able to actually bring the match review out last night. You would never guess what happened. Basically, on the way home on the train, for some reason the train driver decides to actually not open the door at my stop. So then I was forced to go to the next station, and of course by the time he took us there, it was the last train, so there was no trains going back to my destination, so I had to wait for TfL to actually book us all a cab to take us back to our homes. So it was just a complete nightmare last night. But anyway, enough of all that drama, getting straight into the match review. Starting with the first surprise of the day, and that was seeing Zappacosta playing on the left and Moses playing on the right. Now, to me, it does make a lot of sense, and I do understand and agree with Conte's mindset. Alonso has been extremely exhausted. I've been documenting this for more than a month now. It's clear, it's obvious that he's got that mental fatigue, he's not fit enough, his performances haven't been of a very high level, even though he hasn't necessarily been really bad, but he just isn't providing anything on the left. So Conte decided to use Zappacosta. Now, a lot of you have heard my thoughts and opinions on thinking that Moses would make a decent replacement on the left. Conte has actually used him before during pre-season and during certain games of the season last year. I'm thinking of the Manchester United game when he actually swapped Moses to play as a left wing back at stages during the game. And I kind of think that Conte decided, let me play Moses on the right because I want him and Aspi to really nullify Felipe Luis. Why? Because as I did state in my match preview, Atletico Madrid attack down the left hand side a lot. That's one of the main focal areas for attack. Felipe Luis is literally like a one-man army when it comes to really instigating attacks from that side. So Conte is thinking if we can limit the threat out wide, it's going to be better for us, especially when on the right they have Jimenez and Partey playing. So that would be better for Zappacosta. Now again, I'm not saying Conte is wrong at all, and what I'm going to say is definitely hindsight, so it's not a criticism at all. But again, with hindsight, I'm thinking maybe, you know, I'm basing this off Zappacosta's performance during the game. With Moses there, he could have probably caused a bit more damage. For example, Zappacosta had the whole channel on the left hand side free to himself. Now, of course, as I do keep stating, even though he's very energetic, he plays with a lot of passion, he still is very one-dimensional and very direct. So if Zappacosta can't really put a cross in at the end of the byline, then it really reduces anything that he can do. And he had a lot of space and freedom to really dominate that left hand side, which he wasn't able to do. Now I'm thinking if you had a Moses there, where, you know, you have to remember Victor Moses was playing on the left throughout his Wigan days, Crystal Palace days, for Liverpool as well. He's got a lot of experience playing on the left, even for Chelsea he was playing on the left hand side at times when he first came as well. So he knows how to play there, and I really feel that if he had his attacking threat down the left, we had the space and freedom to really do whatever he wanted. Who knows what extra problems that could have created and that could have caused. But then, what I'm saying isn't a criticism at all. It's just like it's just like a afterthought. You know, just thinking tactically of the what-if situations. But even then, the first half was quite cagey tactically, which I did expect, to be honest, and both teams are really cancelling each other out with very good effective pressing. Now Atletico Madrid, they did do something which I didn't necessarily think they would do, but they kind of did what I thought they were going to do in a different way. For example, Jimenez was playing as a right back in the game, but there were times during the game where he'd actually push in to form a back three at times, with Partey dropping deeper. So effectively it was creating like a five at the back situations at times, and it came to dealing with us and trying to stop us. At the same time, we were very compact as well. But I did say, you know, I did think that even though it was very cagey, Atletico Madrid didn't really have much penetration at all with their use of the ball and their use of possession. I felt that we did a very easy job of dealing with Griezmann and his threats. And Griezmann is a great player, but he's one of those types of players that for him to really shine, he needs that proper support around him. He is a support striker. He does need a focal point up front. With Atletico Madrid, I mean, they've got Costa now, which they desperately need. And it's no surprise why I feel that maybe their season hasn't been as great so far, even though they're picking up form. And I think recently for them, their past few years has been down to not having a proper striker, because especially with how they like to play with Griezmann tucking deeper, with Saul and the other attacker pushing close into the middle to make like a three behind the striker. they need a striker of maybe like a Morata's capabilities that's able to really make use of the ball by himself, really hold onto possession and bring people in. And Torres, Gamera and the rest can't really do that. With Diego Costa coming back, that's really going to help Griezmann shine a lot. But I want to give a quick explanation for why he was quite quiet during the game and why we handled him fairly easily. The defence, I thought they did a very good job, all of them. It was fairly standard stuff for all of them. You know, Cahill was making a lot of great challenges as well. You know, nice to see. As I do keep saying, you know, Cahill probably makes some of the best slide tackles inside the box. He doesn't give away any penalties when he makes them. It's one of his trademark tackling capabilities. And I thought he had a very solid game defensively as well. Moved into the midfield as well. Kante's Kante. He's mopping things up. He's recycling possession. He's the focal point behind to help us really play out from the back. And watching this game really summarised to me how effective we were at actually bypassing Atletico Madrid's press because of Kante. Now, in this game, they were doing that thing of man-marking Christensen, man-marking Azpilicueta and leaving Cahill free, but by having Kante sitting deeper, dropping deeper, he becomes the outlet for the likes of your Cahills and your defenders to really play out from, because Kante's first touch is amazing and he always knows what he's going to do with the ball before he receives it. It makes it even easier to beat a press, especially then when Kante then releases it to Fabregas, and that's when we start our attacking moves. And yeah, I thought it was a good performance by him, very good understated performance. And yeah, first half, even though we were looking pretty threatening as the half was ending, I felt that during that time that, you know, we'd probably win the game in the second half. Now, moving on to the second half, and it's so weird. I'm just going to talk about that goal. It was quite frustrating. I know Bakayoko was getting a lot of negativity. You know, watching the goal a lot of times, it definitely was his fault. He definitely did go to sleep. Do I think it comes down to laziness? No, I don't like this excuse sometimes that, you know, oh, a player can't be bothered to do that. No, if you're playing for Chelsea and you want to be in the team, no player's going to be lazy when it comes to any type of decision making. Sometimes we just have to accept that maybe they're not as aware or maybe not as good when it comes to certain parts of their game. I don't think it comes down to not having any you know, ability or not having any drive. It's definitely not the case. As I have kept stating, with Bakayoko, Conte really doesn't know how he wants to use him just yet. As I keep making this example all the time, I made it on 100% Chelsea's fan camp afterwards as well. It's similar to Ramirez. When Ramirez first came, we didn't know how to use him. We tried to use him in a 2, wasn't as effective. In a 3, that's when he really started to shine and he was getting goals in his game. But then he moved back to a 2, and, you know, with Bakayoko, it's the same thing. He does have capabilities where he can provide something to the team, but in my personal opinion, you know, I do feel like I've got a good eye when it comes to spotting a talented player. I do feel that at best Bakayoko is a good squad player to have as maybe like your 4th choice option. You want him to come on, see like the last 15-20 minutes, that type of thing. I think as I kept saying, I really felt that him and Fabinho at Monaco were kind of overrated for what they were doing. I don't think any of them were worth 40 or 50 million like Monaco were wanting for them. I just think they were decent, but they kind of filled the tactical role that was needed. But do any of them improve your team? No, none of them do, in my personal opinion. But again, Bakayoko does need time. He needs another season, really. This is just a learning curve for him this year. Next year, we'll start to see more inklings of what Bakayoko really is about. But even then, I have to say, Zappacosta didn't track Torres for his man. It was so frustrating, but I think, can I even fully blame Zappacosta? Because when you look at Morata, usually it's Morata's job to deal with stuff at the near post, and he wasn't there for the first goal. And it came as no surprise to me that when Atletico Madrid had another corner set piece, literally a few minutes after, Morata was in that area to deal with any crosses coming into the near post. So to me, it was a combination of Morata, Zappacosta and Bakayoko conceding us that goal. And really, this is a typical Atletico Madrid goal. Didn't really do anything during the game, but a decisive moment they can capitalise over it. But it seemed that with that goal, that really woke us up a lot, and I think it woke up Conte a lot as well. We became a much more attacking, threatening team. I did like how Conte was using Eden Hazard, because it seemed like Eden Hazard a lot of times was the actual focal point in the team, with Morata being deeper. Now, this was very intelligent to me, because as I did predict, Atletico Madrid would be very compact in the middle and giving us free possession out wide. They wanted to stifle Hazard and Morata, and during the first half that did happen. But I think by having Hazard being the focal point, the minute Hazard has the ball, that's immediately going to attract 2 or 3 players. So then when you've got Fabregas, who is much more advanced in the midfield of this game, with Morata as well, then there were spaces to exploit in behind. And you know, it was a very good way of beating that Atletico Madrid defensive pressing. I thought Eden Hazard was amazing yesterday. And, you know, I'm kind of having these ideas where I'm thinking, you know, Hazard has a bit too much responsibility than is needed. When I look at some other top players playing for other big teams, they don't have to be the sole creator and the finisher all the time. Even when Messi does do that, the support cast around him makes his life much easier. With Hazard, it's like he always has to drop 9 or 8 out of 10 performances all the time. And you know what? It's amazing for us fans to see such a magical, fantastic player on show. But I'm just thinking in terms of Hazard, you know, I think if we had a more complementing system, or maybe we could sign some players that complement him a bit more, we can start to see an even better Eden Hazard. Because I feel that, you know, Hazard maybe runs a bit too much than he needs to. And I'm only saying that when I compare how other top players play. I don't see the likes of your Neymars or your Messis or your Ronaldos or your Mbappes doing as much running as Hazard does. And I think that that's something that definitely needs to change going into the future. But I thought he had a fantastic performance. Fabregas is very good as well, playing that advanced role where he has the options. The movement in front of him as well makes his life much easier, and it's been no surprise why he's been an undisputed star so far this season. Morata, you know what? It's enough of the tactical talk. I need to set my fan side out. Some of the misses, some of the chances we missed in this game, the frustration. I couldn't understand the Morata chance. Now, I do know beforehand that Christensen should have done better from his 2-headed opportunities. Definitely should have done much better. Didn't put enough power in his shots. But Morata, I'm sorry. Even though Oblak was amazing in this game, and I was actually sitting in a different... I was sitting in the shed end upper in this game today, so I was much closer to the pitch, and obviously seeing the play much closer is completely different. And the one thing I really picked up was just how fast Oblak is. I mean, honestly, for a guy that's 6'4", his ability to just get down quickly is so sharp. It's like a blur at times. And I thought it was a fantastic goalkeeping performance. And it's like sometimes when you see these players up close, you really see the genius behind what makes them world class or what makes them top class. So it was a very interesting perspective of the game. But I'm sorry, Morata, you know, again, I did say when it comes to Morata, we have to accept that these are the chances that he'd be missing regularly, because this is his first time at 25 playing as the main striker in a team. It can be frustrating, but honestly, even though Oblak got out very fast, made his body very big, he had to dink it over. He should have had that composure there to be, you know what, I need to lift the ball over Oblak. It was fairly simple. He didn't do that. That would have changed the course of the game. And of course, the Willian chance at the end. I know it had that slight bobble at the end, but surely when the ball was coming towards you, you already seen that it was skipping up on the pitch a bit. Surely that's telling you it's time for me to really concentrate and get my foot over the ball with this. That's all he had to do. And for some reason, I didn't get how his body balance has shifted so randomly. He was in this perfect standing position. The minute he lifted his foot up, he was just all over the place. That really baffled me, and that was very disappointing. And it's very annoying to me that we didn't actually win this game, because it's imperative that I thought that we topped the group. Now, I know people are saying, no, but Nini, it doesn't matter for us. If we want to win the Champions League, we have to beat these big teams. Yeah, of course, you know, I do understand that, but then also there's like tactics behind when you face some of the bigger opposition. I mean, the beauty of the round of 16 is that, you know, 1 or 2 big teams can tend to be you know, knocked out of the stage. You know, they can get knocked out of the group. And then let's say, for example, a Besiktas played you know, like a RB Leipzig or something like that, but then they're into the quarterfinals. That's going to give you a better chance of progressing to the semi-final if there's one weak team in there as well. But it seems like this year's Champions League is going to be very hard in terms of so many top quality teams going to be advancing into the latter stages. And I don't know, my brief thoughts are Paris Saint-Germain or Barcelona. I think I'd probably take Barcelona. Barcelona aren't the same tiki-taka team they used to be. They are a 4-4-2 team now. They will sit deep if they have to get you on the counter-attack. It's not necessarily the same threat as how it used to be in previous years. And I have this fantasy of seeing Kante versus Messi, because I think if there's any player I've probably ever seen so far that could probably you know, win a ball from Messi, you know, 50-50 one-on-one. I think Kante is that type of player because his tackling success rate, his ability to get his body in front, so how he's able to shift his body balance so much. I really think that he could give Messi a very tough game, and it'd be quite interesting to see that. And I also think too, if we were to get a Barca out of Paris Saint-Germain, well, you got to think the Barca players will probably be, you know, they're going to be scared to face us because they have a history of not performing against us and not getting the results they want. And these types of things always play on the back of your mind as a player. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were to get Barca. I think out of, obviously I prefer Besiktas, but out of Paris Saint-Germain and Barca, I think Barca are the team I'd rather face at this moment in time. And I think, you know, with history on our side, I think that would give us a bit of an advantage, especially now that Hazard's playing central. So the amount of problems he's going to cause at Barca's defence with Morata is going to be ridiculous. And yeah, you guys, it was very frustrating that we didn't top the group today, which I thought we should have done. But honestly, it's not good enough. We should have won this game. We should have sealed it out. I don't know how many chances we needed to seal the win. But as I was stating in previous interviews, if we were to play this game, you know, 9 more times, I think we would have won it 9 out of 10 times. So I think it was just that unfortunate moment where luck just wasn't on our side. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching today's match review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, please press that and stay notified to all things Blue Lions TV. Anyway, I'm the NEFC. This is Blue Lions TV, signing out.